It is Wednesday, July 16th. Welcome to Citizen McCain. Just a reminder to raise your digital hand if you want to ask Miranda or I or our guest, Mary Katharine a question. We also want to give a special shout out to Clementine, who is a part of every single YouTube and Zoom. Is that correct,
Oh,
Ashley? Just YouTube, excuse me, but feel free to join the Zoom. And we just want to
hello,
thank you for your
hello.
support. You have been noticed by our team. So thank you so much.
I'm sure they love that. Yeah. Hi.
Love the name Clementine, too. I hope
That's
that's your
cute.
real
Yeah.
name. I thought I almost named Clover Clementine. Anyway, really quick for people that don't know, I was traveling the past 2 days and it was a hellscape from hell. But I was in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is really like I think one of the most beautiful American cities. It's like such a gorgeous steel town, and it's on the water, and it's so pretty, and the food's so good, the people are so nice. And I did another big interview, which we're very excited about. Miranda knows who it is.
hmm
I went to Pittsburgh and then we drove to Braddock. May give you guys a little hint about who I was interviewing. And we're very excited. But let me tell you, thank you to our producer, Ashley. She let me road trip with her on the way there. It's a trip that should have been 4 hours, but it was almost six
Oh my
because
God.
of rain and whatever. Our poor producers were supposed to fly out of New York, but then their flights were canceled. So they drove from New York and had to like spend a night over like someplace weird in like a shitty motel. Ended up
Thank
making
God
it.
they didn't have to like canoe or something. I saw those
I
like
know all the
videos out of New York.
flooding,
My goodness. Those were
horrible.
horrifying. Oof.
And then flying back yesterday, I was delayed with an inch of my life and bitching about it the whole time to Miranda. So,
Yeah.
also before we get to our interview, we have heard your requests. We have read our DMs. We
hmm
have read everything in the Citizen McCain and both Miranda and I's personal account. Miranda, do you want to take it from here? We know how important this is, not only to you, but to Miranda, me, Ashley, our entire team. Everything Annabelle related will always be important to us. Okay.
Yes.
Annabelle Doll, it was always going to be a story we're going to follow. And there was some really major, yeah, look at, we have a Annabelle Doll. That's not the real one behind
No.
Miranda.
No.
Do you want to just give a little tease? We're going to talk about it at the very end of the show for a long time, like the last probably 15 minutes of the show. We're going to talk about this, but do
And
you want to give a little
we'll have
tease?
conversations with you guys about it too. Anybody who wants to jump in on it can jump in and share
Legitimately,
their
please
thoughts and feelings.
come
Yeah.
in. Yes, we would
Yeah,
love to talk to you about that.
we want to talk to you about it. So Annabelle is continuing her Devils on the Run tour, and over the weekend she was in Gettysburg. We've talked about how she was going to go to Gettysburg. It's one of the most haunted places in the entire country, and there was a lot of weird stuff that happened, and we'll get into some of the weird stuff that happened. But one of the weirdest things was there was a tragic death in the Annabelle community. So we're going to talk about that and some of the theories surrounding it. I'm sure some of you guys already have your own thoughts about it. We have ours, certainly. And we'll talk all about that more towards the end of the show after we're done with Mary Catherine. And yeah, we're going to get into it because this is pretty intense, guys. Some of the stuff that you have been warning us about the Annabelle doll maybe is coming true. So we will get into all of that and more towards the end of the show and the Gettysburg stuff.
And we, at a certain point, because Ashley lives within a reasonable driving distance of Gettysburg, there was a period of time that we were thinking she was going to go and visit the Annabelle doll. And I really like, I'm legitimately very happy we did not have you do that, Ashley.
Very
I'm
relieved.
I'm
Yes.
really like actually very alarmed by this news. Like, and we've been saying for months, maybe 6 months or more, that taking Annabelle, the most haunted doll in the world, other than maybe like, I mean, there's other haunted objects, but I think she's probably the most haunted doll in the world, on tour is a bad idea. We have been saying this. We're going to continue saying this. This is a bad idea. And by the way, Miranda, if she comes to LA, your ass is not going there. I will insist. There's no, and I know, I don't
I
care.
know. I know.
Like,
I
it's
know.
too scary. This is legitimately, I'm
We
very
can't
alarmed
risk
by this
it.
news. We are going to talk about it. Don't worry. We heard you. Like, we wouldn't talk about this news, like major breaking Annabelle doll news. So, thank you all so much for engaging. Is Mary Catherine here? Mary Katharine just joined, so we are
Okay.
very excited. Our friend Mary Katharine Ham is here. She is a Fox News contributor and host of the Getting Hammered podcast, best podcast name ever, and the Normally podcasts. You can find her on X at MK Hammer. What is this Normally podcast? This one's new-ish, right?
Yeah, that's Carol Markowitz and myself. So Carol's a New York Post columnist. Probably
We
seen
love
her on
her.
Fox as
Yeah,
well. And we just do a normal-ish take when the news gets weird is our brand, trying to
love
keep it
it.
a little bit sane as we can.
That's fun.
Well, congratulations. You're on so many podcasts and so many shows. I just saw you on Brett Baer last night or the night before. I apologize. I've been flying. And I saw you and I was like, look at Mary Catherine looking so beautiful with in a green jacket.
I
So
was
thank
actually
you.
busy. I was actually busy being preempted by the president meeting somebody in the Oval Office right before I came here, which is why 12
Okay.
12:04 for you.
Thank you so much for taking time. We know you're like wildly busy. We have been talking about Epstein for days and days and days, as I'm sure you have as well. I want to show you this clip of President Trump yesterday. Yesterday, excuse me, talking about how he thinks that Comey and Obama have made up the Jeffrey Epstein files. Number one, please.
Very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden information, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
I don't know what he's saying, Mary Catherine. I'm really not trying to be trite. Is he talking about the Epstein files don't exist? Like, I'm not. Of course they exist someplace.
Right.
What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, this is a strange gambit. I think that is going to test a lot of people's willingness to roll with Trump on this particular subject. Look, there's a portion of the base that's really dedicated to the Epstein cover up or mystery, such that it is being the decoder ring for all elite corruption. I happen to think that from day one, both sides, this thing has been at least incompetently investigated, and probably there's some corruption involved because there's so many extraordinarily powerful people connected to this. Now, the easy answer for the administration would and should have been, this is under appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell, the the right-hand woman to Epstein. And while it is under appeal, we cannot be giving any substantive more information than we have already given, right? I think he's ticked off because, well, first of all, this wasn't handled well. They've made promises they couldn't keep, and then they dramatically don't keep those promises, and people are really invested in this. There's a portion of the base that's very invested in it. I think Trump's ticked off because he's had a good month in the news otherwise, and people are now talking about only this. And so his thing is like, now this is a hoax because it's much like the other hoaxes, the thing that interferes with everyone recognizing all the good work that I'm doing. But to call it a hoax or to say it doesn't exist, I think it doesn't pass the sniff test with me, and certainly isn't going to with a bunch of people who are more dedicated to finding out what's behind this than I am.
Yeah, and like you said, so many people in his base are not letting this go. Like everyone from like Steve Bannon, I saw Benny Johnson is still like really hitting it hard. Like MAGA base commentators and figures are not moving on. I saw Matt Walsh, say something similar where he was like, "Don't expect me to move on from this." Why do you think that his supporters are so interested in this? Is it because we've been promised so much? Which, by the way, I'm like first person to admit, like Miranda and I were very excited when Pam Bondi was saying we're going to release it because I want to know who the perverts and freaks and criminals are. Like I do. We already know some people. We know that like Bill Gates' wife left him over his association with Jeffrey Epstein. So something happened. Like not to quote like Teresa,
they weren't
Jean,
trafficking women to nobody. So what's going on with all this?
No, I think there are very real victims here, and lots of them, many of whom signed NDAs, and we won't hear from them for that reason, many of whom don't want to be known about. And so that's part of the problem with releasing information, is that the victims are in these documents. But I do think there's a split between sort of rank and file voters who care about this issue and content creators and influencers and more powerful people on these various channels who have made hay out of it for a long time. And look, they've been telling their audiences a certain thing. Trump and Bondi told their audience a certain thing and didn't make good on it. So there's reason to be upset with them. And I think people were misled on what they could deliver here. I do wonder what the political salience of it is for rank and file folks who might look at Trump and go, well, the good is still outweighing the bad for me, even if I really think that this is a problem. Because I think it's fair for people who, I was on with Guy Vincent on Special Report, and he's like, look, I'm not a guy who's usually in the market for a bunch of conspiracy theories, but like on this one, it is
he's very
from
measured.
the beginning. Yeah. And the other part is, and I said this, like I've gotten on the wrong side of a story by assuming there was a more rational explanation than the conspiracy theory. Please see Russiagate. Please see COVID disinformation, right? So I understand why people are highly skeptical and why this upsets them. And I just think the administration went about this the wrong way the whole time, perhaps because they were listening too much to influencers and not thinking about what the job was in the administration.
We were getting not criticized, but there's definitely some people in the political commentary sphere that are really downplaying the importance of this and saying like this is just like a very online niche, like Megan and Miranda, you're too online. But I want to show you this clip of Harry Enton, who's like basically the only person I like at CNN, and he can stay. I protect him at all costs. He makes me feel very calm with his polls. But I want to show you this poll he has about people who are satisfied versus dissatisfied with the Jeffrey Epstein case being not being released.
Now to CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. And Harry Enton, there's a new CNN poll that's just out. How's the controversy impacting the president's support?
Turn it up. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, I would say that the word is dissatisfied. That is how Americans feel in terms of the releases so far of the Epstein case. Take a look here. Epstein case. Amount of info release. The winner here, 50% dissatisfied. Doesn't matter, 29%, not heard enough, 17%. But look at the bottom of your screen. The percentage that are satisfied is just 3%. That's 1, that's 2, that is just 3%. I feel like the count on Sesame Street. Just 3% of Americans are satisfied so far with the amount of information released. The clear winner in this particular case is 50%. Half of the public is dissatisfied, at least so far.
These are really staggering numbers. It's obviously something people care about. Yeah. Yes, and thank you. We are vindicated because we care about this. How do you get yourself out of this kind of PR crisis, Mary Katharine? I don't even know what advice I would give to the president if he asked me at this point.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I think once there's a Netflix documentary, everyone is sort of read in on this, and people do feel that there's just like a baseline. This was not treated seriously enough. He was given the sweetheart deal the first time he faced justice. And there's a sense that there's more to this story. Now, from a crisis PR perspective, or from putting this, to rest, I don't know, because the way conspiracy theories work is that whatever you give them, people will find a way to say, you didn't give us the whole story. And the Justice Department, again, should not have promised this, because they can't give a lot of this information, particularly while this is still in courts. So I think what Trump is trying to do, again, using the word hoax, which I don't think the Epstein case is a hoax. I don't think people's concerns about this are a hoax. I think he's using it to say, this is the thing that's annoying me by distracting from my victories. But it's not in the same category as some of the other things he's mentioning. And he wants his followers to say, and those who are concerned about it to say, oh, I've been duped again. This is yet another hoax that the media is trying to pull on me. And I don't think that's the case here. And there are plenty of people who won't believe him when he says that. I don't think a lot of people like being told that. It could lose him some goodwill. Again, the question is, how high a priority is this for many voters? And I don't think it's a high priority, even if they are dissatisfied with the way it was handled.
Do you think that the president can get out of this? Because even just this morning, he really is continuing to dig in his heels. He posted on Truth Social that anyone who is still concerned with this is a bad person, and their former followers, because they continue to follow this, quote, this is his words, bullshit. hoax. And so, like Megan said, because he's not going to run again, how does this affect JD Vance? How does this affect the next round for the people who want to run for MAGA?
That's a good question. Has JD said anything about this? I know that Mike Johnson was asking for
he broke yesterday
transparency.
Yeah.
I don't know if JD has said anything. Look, Trump has a magical ability to just say things, and then for better or for worse, often for worse for me as a person who's sort of has conservative principles and would prefer the party to be run that way. MAGA often is animated by what Trump says. And so if this is the new thing Trump is saying, and then the news cycle, as it always does, moves on to 17 more things in the next week, they may just roll with it to some extent. But you're right. I think that people who've built a movement out of not being the insider, not catering to those with the big power and letting them off the hooks, specifically in this case, which became a symbol for that kind of behavior. As soon as you get into power, if you go, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah.
People have a reason to be upset about that.
Mm-hmm. And we've been lied to by so many things for so long, particularly in the past 5 years. I understand why there's just no trust with the American public. Is there anything else you want to say before we move on to our next topic? Miranda, anybody want to say one more thing? I'm sure we're going to be talking about this on Wednesday.
Do we have any digital hands?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw this, but Rahm Emanuel, who used to be, the sort of soothsayer of Obama land, very famous Democrat strategist who's been floating that he wants to run for president. And he uses this line that Democrats spent too much time in the bathroom and not enough time in the classroom, which I actually think is a pretty decent line. The Democratic approval rating, according to a new poll from Harris and Harvard released, found that only 4 in 10 correspondents approve of the job that the Democratic Party does. So the approval rating is underwater at 40%. I want to show you this clip of Rahm Emanuel talking about why he thinks the Democrat Party is a mess. Number 5, please.
Just to give you a sense of how bad we are, Democratic Party is less popular than Elon Musk right now. That should be like a wake-up call, how bad. And the Republican parties stab you in the back. The Democratic Party, we disappoint you. And I think if you look at these numbers, the Democrats are harder on the Democratic Party than others. And the reason is because they got disappointed. And they have every right to be disappointed in the leadership. But what is interesting to me, at least going into the midterm and 2025 off year, is if you look at every special election, and you look at every primary, turnout among Democrats is off the charts.
So I want to know from you, how do Democrats come back out of this? Because I actually think like Mamdani and the socialist uprising within the Democrat Party is scaring a lot of people. And I have people asking me, I'm sure the same way you too, Mary Katharine, all the time, like, how can Democrats fix this? How can Democrats fix this? And my advice, they don't want to take. They don't want to appeal to moderates. They don't want to appeal to independents. Right. They just want to go full socialist. What do you make of this and Rahm's comments?
Yeah, I think Rahm is correct. He's been sensible on a couple of things, particularly the thing where he said the bathroom versus the classroom. Like, they weren't connecting with people's real lives and what mattered to them. In many cases, they seemed like the crazier option than Donald Trump, right? So that's a testament to how far they went. Now, I do think there's an issue when you have, I know I'm not being kind here, but like when you have the crazy option, which is Mamdani, right? The more ideologically socialist option versus the more normie option. And your more normie option is like Andrew Cuomo, who is like corruption ridden and super unlikable and just arrives on the scene and is like, aren't you lucky to vote for me?
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to be a winning recipe. I would argue that there isn't super high demand for a Rahm Emanuel either in this capacity, but he is, I think, doling out some truths they need to hear. Whether they're going to act on them is another thing, because Mamdani, of course, has the fire and the fundraising. And I think anyone, for those who are interested in turning the party a little bit more centrist, anyone who can talk is a threat, right, to that project. Anyone of the far left who can talk and is like, he's got a smile on his face, his graphics are interesting, like he's like, it's an interesting package, right? And a lot of people, if you're going to have a vibes election and they're looking at Mamdani versus Andrew Cuomo, the vibes are going that direction, right? A lot of people are not as ideological as I am, even if the crazy kind of freaks them out. So I think you have to be careful who you're running against, the charming guy who's a socialist.
Well, Andrew Cuomo's like, you're right. He's like such a garbage person and a garbage candidate. Like, I really can't stand him. And you're right. He's like, my last name's Cuomo. You're going to clearly vote for me because I'm a Politico Nepo baby. Like, yes. Like, I think people forget he has a really dark history in New York. Even when I was living in New York, and our friend Janice Dean, this horrible tragedy in her family where both her in-laws died as a result of him putting COVID positive patients in nursing homes. Like, he's been Me Too'd. He's like, he's an absolute garbage person. So I agree with you. That being said, Politico reported today that Mamdani is coming to DC to meet with Democrats. And he just had a meeting with business leaders in New York. I saw I apologize, I forgot her name, but it was a woman who was a part of the meeting this morning on CNBC saying that she just wasn't overly impressed with his answers. He basically said, how are you going to run a city like New York when you have no business experience and no experience with any job before ever? And he basically said, I'm going to hire the right people and I'm going to have the right people in place, which again, like that wouldn't give me confidence either.
That
Do you think he's trying to
answer?
No, and also like because everybody's smarter than me, like it's not a great answer. Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna be able to win people over? Because I have actually thought that he's like, if he wins, he's gonna be a megastar, and Globalize the Intifada is gonna be a banner headline at the DNC in 2028, and they're gonna be flashing lights on it, and they're gonna be like, we hate Jews, we're Democrats, we hate Israel. I actually think it's the direction of the Democrats, which is why Republicans can win forever. What's your take on everything I just said, Mary Katharine?
No, I think it's a potentially dangerous prospect for the Democratic Party that he's the superstar, that he gets the fire. Now, if he ends up having meetings with these business interests and such billionaires that exist in New York City who he would like to tax to make sure that all of his free stuff can be given to people, like maybe he'll moderate a little bit. Maybe he'll decide that billionaires actually should exist and he's not going to outlaw them and take all their assets. Perhaps he will moderate, but I don't know. I saw that, was it Charlie Gasparino was reporting that many of the would-be attendees of such a meeting were no-shows. And I wonder if that signals that they think this is kind of hopeless and that they're making their moves accordingly, that it's sucking up to this guy because he seems to be a genuinely committed socialist / communist, might not get them the normal transactionality and respect for things that they create in the city that a run-of-the-mill relationship with a mayor would get them. And you do run into a problem where a lot of these business leaders, if they're trampled enough, do leave. Like you've seen this happen in many other places. Obviously, New York is harder to leave than other places, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. California was hard to leave, and then a bunch of companies did. So it just will happen if you are not careful. And then your tax base that you need is also gone.
What's crazy is we all have friends that live in New York. You obviously work for Fox News. A bunch of your colleagues work in New York because they have to. And I talked to our friend Kennedy just a few days ago, but something completely different. And I was joking, like excited about Mamdani being your mayor. And she's like just petrified and horrified by all of it. Obviously, she's a public libertarian. And I wonder how just like normal people who have no other option, like you have to live in New York because it's your job. You have to live in New York for whatever reason. Like you cannot move. Like, are people going to suffer? Like how bad, and this is obviously an existential question, but like how bad do you think this could get? Could it get so bad that it would be a template of like, this is why socialism has never worked once in like the history of the world in an effective way?
Yeah, I mean, socialism often in practice gets real ugly, right? So I don't wish that upon New York City. I hope he's a faker or he moderates or, does not triple down on policies that have made the city in many cases, dangerous for regular folks, unaffordable for regular folks. It's not easy to run a city. It's not easy to do all the benefits he wants to do. It's easy to promise a bunch of stuff without like reading up on economics. But I don't wish for the people of New York City to get what's coming to them. I wish them to have a prosperous city. I wish for the people of LA to have better than what they have. They're great American cities. But this ain't the way. And it's been disappointing to watch the inability of the Democratic Party to put forth someone who would be better equipped in that primary to have beaten him.
No, I totally agree. And I don't wish like like destruction on New York City, because again, there's a lot of poor people and people of like lower socioeconomic means that just they cannot leave. They cannot move. They cannot afford to move. I also think it's always very interesting that socialist candidates do such dog shit polling numbers with minorities, with Hispanic voters, with Black voters. It's hilarious. It's like white, liberal, wealthy people. Like Cynthia Nixon, the Sex and the City actor, is his biggest fan and saying all this stuff. And I'm like, you're on Sex and the City or whatever the hell that, the zombie version of Sex and the City exists now, but like, it's not going to, it's horrible. That show is like, I refuse to watch it. I can't
even watch it. Yeah.
I can't, I gave up. Like, it's too dumb. And I like have not been lobotomized enough to like watch that. And I will watch like almost anything, by the way. Miranda and I just watched Poop Cruise together.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to like, I will watch almost anything.
And we loved it, by the way.
I have thoughts on the Pope cruise. We're going to get to that later. But do you think that like, why is it that it's like white liberals are always the ones that are like, yes, government run grocery stores and tax everybody 70%?
Well, I think that, I mean, the term luxury beliefs is so perfect, and he's a luxury beliefs candidate, right? And often pie in the sky socialists who are charming and rise to power are people who come from wealth, who come from privilege, who haven't thought through what it takes to start and run a business, who haven't thought through what it looks like if you have state-run grocery stores. By the way, we have state-run liquor stores here in my state, and I do not recommend it. They're very bad.
DMV.
Yeah, it's like that? The DMV for liquor. Yeah. So no, it's just like you're not offering people a good product. You're offering people, and this happens in all of politics, but socialists are particularly bad about it. You're offering this like vision of utopia that you absolutely cannot deliver. He reminds me of, it's like Boy Meets World, and Corey's like, I'll give you free vending machine snacks if you elect me president of the student body. And it's like, that's not how it works. And nonetheless, though, if you have a populist population that wants some change, that looks at Cuomo and is like, ew, gross, and is not particularly ideological or thinking through the economics of this, it can sound pretty good. So saying you're going to give people free stuff sounds pretty good, but it does not always work out that way. And it hurts people.
Yeah, the problem with socialism is at a certain point you run out of spending other people's money. Great Margaret Thatcher quote. I want to move on to this David Litt. I don't know if you've seen this. He's a former speechwriter to President Obama who wrote this New York Times op-ed I know you've seen it. And it's basically saying you should unshun your conservative friends. And we were laughing at this clip. I don't know if we should play it because it's pretty long, but it's a liberal podcast, and the liberal hosts are saying the worst part about being a liberal is that none of their friends have a boat, because boat culture is like a conservative thing. I think this is so dumb. Like, who would like shun your family members over politics? Like, my mother literally endorsed Biden and my brother endorsed Kamala, and guess what? Like, I talk to both of them every day. Like, life can go on in different ways. What is this op-ed?
On one hand, I want to like applaud his progress, because he shunned his very nice brother-in-law for not getting the vaccine. And he was like, he says in the op-ed, he's like, I didn't do this personally. It wasn't a personal thing. It was strategic, because he needed to be punished for not doing the thing that society was supposed to do. In fact, he offered historical precedents for this, and literature precedents, including shunning Hester Prynne. And I was like, are we on the anti-Hester Prynne side?
Nathaniel Hawthorne. God.
Like, it's a terrible idea. The guy who he's shunning, he ends up going, well, now I want to surf. And Matt, my brother-in-law, is a pretty good surfer, so I'm going to join up with him to surf. And lo and behold, when he goes surfing, and Matt is very nice to go surfing with him, he finds out that this electrician, Joe Rogan fan, surfer actually has some things in common with him, and they make connections on things other than politics. Mind-blowing. And he further says that his nice brother-in-law is way better at surfing than him. And in the hierarchy of surfing, he could be a real jerk to him and condescending to him, just as he was to Matt. But, Matt isn't. He's nice. Matt is a nice guy. If he needs to be set up, I think we should work on that. This other guy who wrote about him, he shouldn't surf with him anymore, because it's like, God, this guy, he just wrote up in the op-ed how little he thinks of you. I mean, the dude's, it's a mess.
It's just so weird to me that, and I really do think this is a like culturally liberal thing because conservatives really, at least my friends and my community, which is quite large, quite
Mhm.
filled with conservatives. I just don't know anyone who would be like, I cannot interact with this person anymore because they voted for Kamala. Like, I maybe it exists, obviously exists all everywhere in the world, but I do find this to be like, especially for like the vaccine and voting thing, like, I just can't interact with you. I can't talk to you. It's toxic. It's blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, you're hurting yourself. Like, I think he probably would be a great surfer now if he had
Right.
like,
Well,
hung out with,
Well, and that's what he found out, right? And it shouldn't take that. And as I say, my body changes rapidly in between each pregnancy, right? And the people trolling you
you're
do
a
not
freak,
care.
Mary Katharine, respectfully. You like give birth naturally and your body looks the exact same. The first day I met you, which I think was like 16 years ago. So like, please, I love you, but like, you're not the right person to look exactly the same. But I hear what you're saying. And I also
Yeah.
think that like, there's this level of insanity where it's like, I get people always that are like, why aren't you on Ozempic yet? Why haven't you like whatever? And I'm very scared of any kind of drug that I don't absolutely have to take. And I have friends that are on Ozempic that have had very complications that I'm just not gonna have in my life. Like they're exhausted all the time. Like they're very nauseous. Like I don't have time to be exhausted and nauseous all the time. Um, Miranda, why do you think people are saying such ugly things? And do you agree with Mary Catherine? There's just no winning.
Whenever I see negative comments about celebrities online that I like, or you or me, I always click on their profile picture because I want to see what they look like. And it's usually like either a picture of their dog or the profile's private. So that's all very telling, and it always makes me feel better. Because if they were so gorgeous, they'd have a picture of themselves out. But I think people are just assholes. And they see that. And Jennifer Love Hewitt, like Mary Catherine said, is not 18. She's not 20. She's not 25 anymore. She's not Amanda Beckett from that, high school graduation night movie. And it's not fair to expect her to stay rail thin. She's never been rail thin. She was just young. She always had, she was always, I don't want to be gross, but she was always kind of like busty. So she kind of just like
Yes.
grew into her body, right? And to expect her to stay teeny tiny after having 3 children and being almost 50 is outrageous. She looks stunningly beautiful. She doesn't look plastic or pulled tight. She looks like a normal woman you'd see at the grocery store. And if you've been following her, she's on 911. This is how she looks. She's always looked like this. The dress was
Mhm.
beautiful. She looked incredible. And I honestly cannot wait to see this new. I know you did last summer because I really like all the trailers and the cast and the young kids that are in it. And it looks really good. I loved that franchise. So I'm very excited for it.
Me too. Is there anything else you want to add, Mary Catherine, before we say goodbye? You are welcome to stay for our Annabelle segment, but I don't know if that's your vibe. Anything you want to add? And like I said, we are always so happy to talk to you. And I literally like, I just am so happy to always see you on all my like social media, TV, podcasts. Like you do such amazing work. And I think you're just such a brilliant commentator. You used the term Dakota ring earlier on the interview. And I was like, I never would have used the term Dakota ring in any context or anything. It's so brilliant.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. And like, just shout out Jennifer Love again. I think you're doing great, girl. Like,
She's the best.
she's my exact age cohort, and like, good job.
People are just, I don't get it. Like, for whatever it is, anecdotally, I recently had a request to do an interview with someone, and a very quick search found out that the show had pretty severely fat shamed me in the recent past. And I was like, I just don't know. Like, A, did you think I wouldn't see that? And B, like, what kind of person and show is it? Like, do you really think that, like, it's just like women cannot win. It's like if you lose a ton of weight, you're, Ozempic anorexic. If you gain weight, you're a fat pig that should never have a microphone. There's no
Well, yeah,
space.
if she went on Ozempic, right, and they all suspected that, that would be the thing that they're
Yeah.
picking her for. She was too lazy to lose weight. She went on Ozempic. It's like, what you can do?
Yeah, no winning.
There's
She
no
seems
winning.
fine. And she's in a big movies. Like everybody go to hell. Anyway, thank you so much, Mary Catherine. You can
Thank
follow
you. I
her on
appreciate it,
X.
guys.
Come back anytime, MK Hammer on X, and listen to her podcast, Getting Hammered, and normally and on Fox News all the time.
All
Thank
right,
you.
take care, guys.
Okay, we are
She's
gonna
the best.
finally switch to what you all been waiting for. Okay,
Oh boy.
I think you should set the stage for what happened, Miranda, when the Annabelle news.
Okay, I will set it up as best as I can because I do not have my notes in front of me.
Okay, I
So,
have my notes. I'll do it and then you add on, okay?
okay.
So this is actually very sad. We need to show the photo if you guys don't mind. Number 9, please. So the paranormal investigator Dan Rivera died suddenly on July 13th, so just a few days ago, while touring with the Annabelle doll in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Rivera was known for his work with the New England Society of Psychic Research and his role on Netflix 28 Days Haunted. Rivera also worked on a paranormal research and investigations for over 10 years and served in the U.S. Army. The cause of his death is not disclosed. He died in a hotel room. By all accounts, extremely healthy, had no prior issues that anyone knew about. He was only 54 years old, and he just dropped dead after being the shepherd and the person ushering the Annabelle doll to all of her tour locations across the country. It's so weird because he was in charge of the Annabelle doll, and I assume touching maybe the doll or the box that the doll is in. Yeah, the case it's in, excuse me. And he died. And I mean, I'm not trying to be like, we joke about this because we're obsessed with paranormal things, but I legitimately don't think people should be messing with this.
No.
I do not think the Annabelle doll should be on tour. I think it's dangerous. I think if something like this exists and you somehow don't respect how much damage and chaos has been, like, how much more proof do you need? How many more stories do you need of people's interactions and obviously the Warren family? Like, I just don't understand why this doll is on tour. I don't understand why we're putting people's lives potentially in danger. I do not believe in coincidences. I've said this many times on the show. I think where there's smoke, there's fire, and we should listen to our instincts and we should listen to our intuition. And my instincts and intuition say that this poor man was exposed to some of the worst demonic energy that exists and died as a result of it.
Oh, I just got like the worst feeling in my stomach.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I I feel so bad because okay, so I first found out about Dan Rivera's death a couple of days ago. Like I think it was the night it happened, or maybe the next day. I was standing in my kitchen and I was just scrolling Instagram and I came across Ryan Buell's post, and it was, yeah, that's the guy who's in charge of the Warren Museum. We've been desperately trying to contact him
They
for
will
a couple
not
of months.
answer our emails.
And he
Yes.
will not respond to us, which is fine. Like whatever. We're not gonna hound him now. But and it was like a very, very emotional, sad post about Dan dying. And my jaw just hit the floor because I was like, what the hell? And I didn't realize that it was the same weekend that Annabelle was in Gettysburg. I hadn't put it all together. And so then after we put it all together and like we're doing our research, I started looking into other stuff that had happened, and I got on TikTok and I was looking into it. So similarly to what happened in New Orleans when Annabelle was there, all kinds of bizarre things were happening in Gettysburg. Their 911 system went out. Nobody could call 911 for emergency. And there's actually video, and it wasn't good video, so I didn't send it to us to poll, but because there was like a lot of weird AI voiceover. I couldn't find anything clear, but there was video of people at the Annabelle experience, and all of their phones start doing that EMS tone, and they are looking at their phones because all of them go off, and it's like the 911 is out tone. There were a bunch of car accidents near and around where the Annabelle experience was happening. There were more sightings than usual of like Blue Boy, which is one of their like local ghosts, and other spooky things that are around in Gettysburg, because it is, again, one of the most haunted places because of just the history.
Civil War, yeah.
Yeah, and other flickering ghosts and flickering lights and things like that. People were reporting just higher than normal rates of paranormal stuff. So no one is saying what happened to Ryan, or excuse me, Dan. But they said that when the paramedics got to the hotel room, they performed CPR on him for a really long time, and they just weren't able to revive him there. So the cause of his death is still pending. But by all accounts, like you said, he was very healthy. We've played video of him on the show, helping to bless the Annabelle doll, helping with prayers for the Annabelle doll, carrying the humongous case with the priest, and loading her in, loading her out. He's very strong. He was a fit man, and he's the one who was like her bodyguard. So I don't know if that means that she like was in the hotel room with him, like he had eyes on her 24 hours a day, or what. But I think that we're gonna find out
Where did
more.
they keep Annabelle?
That's what I want to know. It's like,
Question.
was she in the room with him? Because that to me might signal something more nefarious possibly with this, or like people online. I went on like the Reddit boards last night, which I know can be kind of like a slimy place, but everyone was being very respectful about all this. But they kept saying, this is the curse, it's the curse, it's the curse. And to his family, I don't want to get into any grossness or whatever. And so please, we are doing this with the most respect and care, because we do
I have the utmost respect for Dan, and I really was a big fan of his work.
Yeah,
and
we really wanted to meet him and talk to him and just interview him and get his feeling about all this, because we're so fascinated by it. But they kept repeating,
it's a tragedy. It's very sad.
It's so sad. Yeah. And because he was so interested in this, was his life work, and he wanted to share the message and spread just some entertainment, but also interest and curiosity, and just people who wanted to enjoy this with each other. And so, but when you think about what Ed and Lorraine Warren and their mission was, and what they said was, Lorraine specifically said, do not move her from this space. So that's why, even going back months when we were saying, is this a good idea? This doesn't sound like a good idea. And so many people were saying, let's not do this. This is a really bad idea. Annabelle is incredibly dangerous.
The point you're making about like, where is the doll when it's not in the tour facility? Like, I assume they have to stop when they're making a road trip. Like, is Annabelle just in like a car in a parking lot? Because again, like, I don't want to be anywhere near that thing. Truly.
But that also sounds dangerous too, because what if someone breaks into the car?
Someone takes it. I know. It's horrible. We actually have a question from Elaine. Very happy to have you call in. Hi, Elaine.
Hi,
How
Elaine.
are you?
Am I muted? No, it's Elena with an A.
Oh, Elena, I'm sorry. My whiteboard
I don't have
is
my glasses
still
on.
in. I'm sorry. My whiteboard is still in Ashley's car from our road trip, and so she had to write it on a piece of paper. It was fine. We had to take like an almost 6-hour road trip to Pittsburgh, and we did make it. But I was very cranky, and Ashley was nice about it. We did stop at Jack in the Box, so that was a highlight of the trip.
Oh, I love Jack in the Box. Yeah.
I know. Yes, best.
I called one time before, but it was before your announcement. So, how are you feeling? Are you feeling okay?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I'm just tired. Like, I'm just tired. I know, which is like normal when you're pregnant, but thank you so much. And I really appreciate that.
And now, after this whole Annabelle thing, what is are you getting somebody to check out Miranda's house? Because
I legitimately want to, right?
After this happened, like her and her husband, and they're like, I'm like you. I think you're too laissez-faire.
Oh no,
me too.
I think Megan. Let's do a crowd fund me or something, because I think you really should get it checked out. Like,
so get this.
We have to get the budget here to send
I talked to an exorcist yesterday.
Okay. Tell us.
I talked to an exorcist yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to have him come. I didn't get like a quote or anything for how much it's going to cost, but Nick and I did talk about it. And my feeling is that they're not mean. They don't do anything, like they don't scratch us, and we don't have like
they generally like
we don't have nightmares, except for the girls do.
But girls, she's okay or whatever. I mean,
I'm with Elena. I would be the hell out of there.
My feeling is
burning the house down.
Number one, they were here first. We moved in on their terms, so this is their house. Number two is that, in the movies, when you see an exorcist and it doesn't go perfectly right, then it gets really bad. So that's my worry, is that we're gonna piss them off and they're gonna be mad, and then it's gonna get
other people that do this besides like an exorcist person.
Yeah, there's got to be other people, paranormal experts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, maybe we could talk about it some more.
We're out. Like, Ashley, can you help her?
Yeah, Ashley.
Ashley, add it to your list.
Ashley has an Annabelle doll too, so an imitation one.
My Annabelle is a sweetie pie. She's not scary, and she
lives
in
Raggedy Ann. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no,
that's what it looks like.
Real
I know,
Annabelle looks just like this. It's funny. No,
Elena, do you have any other feelings about Annabelle or any other subject? And then
like I said, I was listening to what was going on, and you were concerned, and you, Miranda, you or your husband didn't really seem so concerned. And I'm like,
at the time, I was very freaked out.
And I just want to make sure you're taking care of yourself when your 6-hour road trips and everything. But no, I really didn't have anything. I was glad we kind of went here because I just sort of want. I wish I could be your friend. I mean, you guys. I mean, like
you can.
You are our friend, Elena.
And you are such like. I really feel like I'm talking to like my girlfriends over here. Like you're a lot younger than me, but
that's the vibe we want to cultivate. So
yeah, I loved your interview with Mrs. Vance. I thought
thank you.
I can't wait for more of your interviews. I know you went for an interview. And the only sad thing is that we don't get to like, talk to you or something, but we talked to you after the interview, I guess. So
Two-Way is trying to do more live events. So I will obviously keep you updated if they have us do anything like that. And look, like most of my life is over Zoom. So you can call in anytime and we'll take questions about anything. If you want to talk about your paranormal experiences, we are more than happy to talk about anything.
Well, I can tell you one thing that happened to me. And there was a period of time when I was a lot younger where I was having premonitions, I guess, and it scared the heck out of me. And I think because it scared the heck out of me, I just didn't pay attention anymore. But I had I had a dream that my great uncle was under under like a street light in the night, and somebody like came and got jumped on him and started pounding him. Right. I woke up the next morning and my mother tells me that this uncle died in a hospital, like on the operating table from a heart attack.
My gosh.
It was like,
that's crazy.
I was and my she was all excited. I said, I am not excited about this. I do, because, I do believe people have,
hey, you got to get,
you too.
You can cultivate that, or you can be like me and be like a scaredy cat and say, I don't want to know all this stuff. It'd be great if it was all good stuff and you could tell people good stuff, but
like the lottery numbers or something. Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
pay attention to that.
I just wanted to like say that to you guys because I really care about you.
Oh,
thank you.
We
care about you too. We appreciate your support. We really do appreciate it. We're still like a baby show that's growing, and it's really so wonderful to have you. And Elena, call in literally anytime, Zoom in. We would love to talk to you about literally anything on your mind. So don't be shy, okay?
That I am not.
Okay, good.
Us either.
Okay, see you soon. Thank you, Elena. All right, we have Emily here. Is this your friend, Emily? Hello,
yes. Hi,
Emily. Another friend.
Hey. Yes. So the question I have is Annabelle on the Epstein files. Like, that's what I need to know. Is she in there?
Annabelle is the only client on the Epstein files. Lock her up.
Emily, I thought of you, though. What was your feeling when you heard this news about the tragic death of Dan Rivera?
It was pretty shocking, honestly. It's like, what the hell? Is it real? Like, maybe they really, maybe they really shouldn't have moved him or moved her. Would I still go see her? I don't know, probably.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a psycho.
Do you think they're still going to continue the Devils on the Run tour, or do you think that this ends it?
Who would transport that doll now? Like who?
The other Warren people.
Emily.
Yeah.
If they called you tomorrow and said, we're going to hire you, but you got to be her handler, would you do it?
Probably. Yes.
Emily. Emily.
All right, Ashley, cut that and send it to the Warrens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of a psycho, so I'm like, whatever. I probably would have honestly, just for the story.
Like
they would have to pay me a lot.
I mean, like big money. Like
I'm not a religious. Yeah, I'm not a religious person, but I would definitely get some holy water and like befriend a priest just to be safe.
I think she has like a road priest, so I think you'd be covered.
Road priest.
By the way, a great reality show. I mean, not like this tragedy aside, would be following this tour.
I would watch that. Oh, I would. Yeah, I don't. So I almost bought tickets.
Ultimate Girls
because it's coming to my town. Yes, because it's coming to my town in October. But I have not bought them yet, which is probably for the best.
Well, Emily, if you
I don't think she's coming.
I don't think so either.
You have to come and tell us all about it.
Oh, of course. Yeah, obviously.
Good.
Yeah.
Special correspondent. But
for
yeah,
sure.
I don't think she's coming. I think that this is the end of the road.
I honestly feel a little bit of guilt because we legitimately almost sent Ashley.
I know. God.
Yeah,
Like a
she
butterfly
wasn't-
effect.
To go to Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
God
like,
that didn't happen now. God.
I think it's funny. She like has gone to like some of the most haunted places, like Gettysburg, New Orleans, Lexington, where I live, is super haunted. It's one of like the top haunted places in the country.
I feel weird. You guys were even in Pennsylvania at the same time Annabelle was. Like Megan, you and Ashley were in the same state as her, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
That's not productive commentary.
Yeah.
You haven't put all that together yet? Come on.
Yeah. I'm also
How far
not
away
sure.
is Gettysburg from
Has
Pittsburgh?
Annabelle been questioned by the police yet? I want to know what her statements are.
Yeah.
All right. We are running on time, you guys, but I just legitimately want to say our condolences are to Dan Rivera's family and loved ones. Legitimately, I was very, very sad to hear this news. And again, Miranda and I's social media and phones are blowing up. So, and I also do appreciate that people know that we are I'm genuinely, as a commentator, very interested in this story. I love
that this is our legacy, that this is our thing, our claim is that we are
even
the
my
Annabelle.
husband was like, Megan, like he was like, did you see this? I was like, we saw it already.
We saw it. We're all over it. Yep, we got it. Thank you.
And Emily, if you have any more thoughts, please feel free to obviously call in, zoom in anytime. We love seeing you and hearing from you.
And everybody continue to send us Annabelle news if and when
any
you
updates.
See it. Yes.
And I think we should do a poll that we'll answer on Wednesday. Do you think that Annabelle's tour will continue? And should it continue?
And if you think that the curse of Annabelle is responsible for this.
I do,
or
and I'm
anything
sorry.
To do it with this. Yeah, because I do too.
There's a part of me that doesn't want her here because I think our governor, Andy Bashir, is a top Democrat contender. So
he's a delight.
He is.
Andy is where it's at. I've been meaning whenever I'm on here, I'm like, do I talk about something weird or do I talk about Andy? So we're going to do both today.
Why not both?
Yes, we love Andy. He is a little folksy.
He just said he's considering. He was just on Meet the Press saying he's considering running for president.
Yes. I know I feel like he maybe needs to up his national profile a little bit. But he's very popular.
He's very talented.
Yes, he is. His dad was governor too, but he wasn't as liked as Andy. But yeah, if Andy Bashir was the president, I would be so happy. Like I told my husband, I'm like, I would campaign for him. I would cry if he won. Like we love him. When he was in the running for Harris's VP, I'm like, please do not take Andy away from us.
Oh, wow. Well, he's a normie, which is why he's dangerous for Republicans. And he's also obviously someone who can win in a red state. And just a short data point, the most nominees for president on the Democrat side are always Southern governors. So it has a good track record. People, for whatever reason, feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, he's the head of the Democratic Governors Association. He's there's been, I think, 20 or 21 national emergencies declared in Kentucky throughout his 2 terms. He dealt with COVID really well. And people just love him. Like on any video, like comments, people are like, I'm a Republican. I love Andy. I voted for him twice. So yeah, I think he has a real shot.
I do too. And it's funny you're bringing this up, Emily, because it's actually been a point of conversation in political circles recently because he opened the door saying he's going to, he basically said he's probably going to run for president. And then I saw actually Sean Spicer on another two-way show saying that if he were still in charge of the RNC, he would be like, get Oppo on him immediately because he is a dangerous And look, this guy is not Mamdani. Okay, it's like a real person in the real world with Republicans that like him. So
and he's fun too. He actually has a podcast. And he's had all kinds of people on, and I call him the down home Gavin Newsom.
Well, he's not a freak either. Like
Gavin Newsom is a weirdo.
No,
yeah,
he hasn't savaged his state to hell. So that's
exactly. Yeah. Kentucky's a very weird state.
Gavin Newsom
in multiple
wishes
ways.
He was Andy Bashir. He wishes.
That is correct. And Andy has a really nice wife, Brittany. She's really fun.
Who he doesn't cheat on. So
exactly. Yeah. Like I even like just him, like just you saying that, like Andy just
Gavin
like
Newsom
recoiled.
admitted that he cheated on his wife with his like chief of staff's wife. It's like a known scandal. I'm not speaking out of turn. It's like very public.
Yeah, and plus he's Nancy Pelosi's nephew, right? Gavin is
No,
I don't think so.
Is
I don't
he?
think so. I think that was a theory thing.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So we really love Andy, and I think that might turn Kentucky blue.
Well, do me a
if
favor,
Andy
Emily. Come back to talk about him more because
Oh
I'm
yeah,
with
I'll talk
you.
about Andy all day.
Finger in the air of just like where the winds are going. I think this is going to be a name we all need to be paying more attention to because I agree with Emily. If Democrats are smart, even though they tend to be dumb, if they're smart, that's a race, man. That'll be a real one if that ends up happening. He's very talented.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of talk of him running for Mitch McConnell's Senate seat. But I don't know. Because
it's better to do it as a governor. People like senators less. I don't understand the psychology of it totally, but people prefer governors.
Yeah, and plus I was thinking like being a governor is more similar to being a president. Like if you can run a state, you can run the country.
Yep.
It's like you're like a tiny president.
Totally. On that note, Emily, thank you so much. Come on to talk about paranormal activity or Andy Bashir anytime.
Of course.
Emily, thank you so much. And Miranda, obviously, thank you. We will be back again, same time, same place on Wednesday. And for people that are asking, our interview that I just did is going to air next Wednesday. Great. You will know who it is on Monday. Airs next Wednesday. I promise it'll be worth it. It was great. Thank you all so much. We'll see you on Wednesday. Monday. What Monday. I'm so sorry.
Monday.
What day is it? I've been traveling. I'm sorry. Sorry. Thank you.